If you are sick and tired of attracting bad fit clients, you know those clients that want 100 different amends, they just boss you around, and ultimately you feel like you're a worker for them rather than a strategic partner, then this video is for you. I'm going to break down some key ideas and some key strategies that will move you from pixel pusher to partner. We're going to talk about the difference between transactional conversations and transformational conversations. This clip is taken from a talk that I did in Barcelona. It was a small workshop at a co-living space. And they asked me to talk about finding and attracting your ideal clients. And this was a segment from that workshop. It's one of the most important pieces and one of the pieces that I believe most creative agency owners miss when it comes to having good sales conversations and attracting the right clients. As always, if you found this video valuable, please hit that subscribe button and share this with a friend.
The final idea I want to share with you is that we actually want to audition our prospects. And I used to be so guilty of this, right? When I first launched my business, it was like, hey, I heard you build websites. I do. I need a website. Cool. How much does it cost? Roughly this much. Great. Let's go. And that would be the end of that sales conversation, right? What I've learned since then is if you don't interrogate people, if you don't audition your clients, then A, you're going to let bad clients through the net. And B, you're actually going to give them something that they don't need or that's not going to solve the problem. So I want to talk to you about a concept that I talk to my clients about a lot, which is transactional versus transformational. Building a website for someone and saying, hey, I need a website, and you just giving it to them is a transaction. That's walking into a store, grabbing a product and paying for it. Transformation is when you take time to really understand what that client is struggling with. What are their pain points? What are their problems? What are the things that are stopping them from getting more of what they want? And you actually help them to get from A to B. You actually design a product or design a service that makes that transformation, not just that transaction. And so to understand this better, I always use the metaphor of two islands. So when your client comes to you, they're always on island A, right? They're always here. And where they're trying to get to is island B, because it's got like a little cave and some water and stuff, right? Obviously. And you've got to figure out how you're going to get them there. So that's what transformational services are about. They're about saying, okay, well, we could build a bridge, or we could take a speedboat, or we could take a plane. Like, how are we going to get from A to B in the way that you want to get from A to B? And not letting the client dictate the process. Because how many of us have ever had a client that's like, oh, we know we have to do X, Y, and Z, but can we just take these bits out? Or can we just have that instead? And you agree to it, and you realize that it doesn't get them any closer. It just kind of lands them halfway in the middle. And then who do they blame when they don't get to the other side? Who do they blame? Us, yeah. Of course they do. It's not their fault, is it? Because we were the ones that said that we can get you there, but they just asked for the wrong thing. So we created something, and there's actually a free link to this if you guys want to download it. We created something called the one-page sales framework. I spent years and years around mentors who were just incredible at sales and incredible at this process of creating transformations. One of the reasons why I became a coach is because I wanted to give people that transformation. And sales is just really one way to do that. And so we created something called the one-page sales framework. And it's really just a process of making sure that you're actually solving the problem that your client has, and you're actually going to get them to where they want to be. You're not just creating that transaction. I haven't got a link to it here, but if you literally search for this, the one-page sales framework, and my name, then you'll find it. I think it's on YouTube, and there's like a download link to the actual framework. But there's three parts to it. The first part is setting up the conversation, letting the client know what this is about. And this is one of the most important things. How many of you have ever had a client on a call that you bookmarked like half an hour for and you ended up talking for like 2 hours? Has anyone ever had one of those? Sort of few. Not enough people have got talking clients then. We used to get this all the time. Just talk us, hey, tell me more about your business. It's like an hour later and they're like still talking. So the setup is important because it's like, hey, this is what we're going to talk about today. This is how long we're going to talk about it for, and this is why we're going to talk about it. And so that means that you actually take control of that conversation rather than the client auditioning you. Like, hey, why should we work with your business? What can you bring to us? It's the other way around. We're actually auditioning them. Then we're going to look at the A to B, like where are they now, where do they want to be? And then we're going to put our kind of doctor hat or our detective hat on, and we're actually going to diagnose what we think is the problem, not what they think is the problem. And if you get stage 2 clients, this bit's really easy. And then we're going to make the proposal. What most people do is they hear, hey, I need this thing, and they skip straight to this. We used to call that proposing on the first date. Get really eager, right? And that's usually when we get objections around price. So that's what we use in terms of the one-page sales framework.